بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Our problem with today's time is labeling. The topic is Muslim home or the Islamic home. And the label Islamic has been abused today. So when you go to buy groceries, you find halal Islamic food. Even on fish, you would find halal fish. What is this? If you look at finance, there you have Islamic financing. But if you go deep down, you find 80, maybe 90% is un-Islamic. But because the phrase it is catching and you can lure people, drag their feet through using Islamic. You're invited inshallah tonight for my son's or my daughter's wedding. It's an Islamic wedding. Yani, what do you mean? The other weddings are kafir wedding? No, Islamic meaning there's no dancing, there's no inappropriate clothing, there's no music, there's this, that. So again and again and again you have this Islamic nasheed. And you end up with an artist on a piano or playing the violin or on a guitar and saying, Ya Habibi, Ya Rasulallah. Excuse me? He said, yes, I said Rasulallah. Khalas, it has to be Islamic. Even if it's rap music, no problem. So when we come to look into the terminology Islamic, it has to fit a certain guideline. When we say Islamic home or the Muslim home, we have to scrutinize the terminology. We're practicing Muslims, allegedly. So do we live in an Islamic home? They say high blood pressure is the silent killer. I say ingratitude, being ungrateful to Allah is the silent killer. When you neglect Allah's favors and blessings and you complain, though Allah has given you literally everything, then we have a serious problem. Having a home is one of Allah's favors upon us, which we tend to complain a lot about. We do not see those who do not have homes, those who have fled their countries looking for a better life and for a better home. How many thousands drown in the Mediterranean fleeing their countries, the wars, the many conflicts in their countries. They may find a better place, they may not. So we have to appreciate this ni'mah, this blessing that Allah has given us. Now, basically, every boy and girl look forward to the moment that they can get married and have a home. This is their ultimate dream. So they work hard and they have this as a target. If you ask someone who's going to school, why do you go to school? He says, so I can go to university. Then what? I can get a job. Then what? I can get married. This is the ultimate goal, usually for normal people, to want to have tranquility, to want to have comfort, mercy, and affection. And this is why our home is the first brick in this big society of Muslims. If you take good care of it, you have a good community. If you don't we see what we see from numerous shortcomings that are taking place in the Muslim world. When we talk about the Muslim home, are we referring to the marbles used? Are we referring to whether it's concrete or made of wood or clay? Definitely not. When we talk about Muslim homes, we don't talk about whether you have a 50-inch LCD screen, whether you have air conditioning that is central or window, or that it is this or that. We talk about what goes inside the home. A Muslim home can be a tent. A family that lives in a tent, moves from one place to the other, don't have regular running water, don't have toilets, don't have baths, showers, etc. But what goes inside defines whether it's a Muslim home or not. Therefore, our gathering today is just to take a look whether we have a Muslim home or not. Because at the end of our road, we will face Allah Azza wa Jal. And we're approaching this end quite rapidly. Now, if I look at my life and my past years, it's just like a flash. I remember everything to be so close. A sister called me a few days ago, and she was complaining and filing a divorce case against her husband for physical abuse. And she had all the right to do that. And she said, I have 5 children. 3 of them are married, and I'm a grandmother. But he broke 3 of my, 1 finger, sorry, 3 fingers? No, one finger and 3 ribs over the duration of 25 years. So I was building an image in my head that this lady is old. And she's saying, Sheikh, I'm 43 years of age. And I started hitting my forehead. 43? That's a kid, comparing to my age. Then I started looking in the mirror and said, Ya Allah, you're that old? Time is running. And we're approaching the end of the road, and we're not identifying, we're not paying attention, because yeah, Sheikh, how long you want to live more? Wallahi, I heard that Nuh lived 950 years. So, yani, a little bit close, give or take few hundred years. And then what? It's death. So it is inevitable that we must take a stand. Let's look at our homes. Don't fool people with the length of my beard and the shortness of my thobe and my miswak in my pocket. And whenever you speak to me, say, Jazakallahu khayran, Barakallahu feek. Oh, khalas, then I'm a Muslim. I'm okay. No, you have to go deep, so that we avoid what the vast majority of Muslims are doing. And what is that? Each and every one of us is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. We have split identities. In front of you, MashaAllah, Tabarakallah, he's a da'i, he's a good practicing Muslim, he contributes to the community, he does this, he does that. But then he has a different life. A friend gave his sister to a brother, a revert. Well, actually he's not a revert, he's a Muslim. He looks so, MashaAllah, into the deen. He prays in the masjid, long beard, is from a Western country. And he is totally like us, MashaAllah, Tabarakallah. As if we are the benchmark. But yani, he looks like us, he behaves in it. And all of a sudden, I am bombarded with complaints from this brother. His sister says that this man has a split personality. He smokes pot. He's hooked on marijuana. And he attends lectures of shuyukh, he goes to Riyadh, he goes to here and there. And I could not believe this in the beginning. But then it was obvious. The guy is hooked on it. So we want to know, are we, in the eyes of people, and most importantly, in the eyes of Allah, having such split personality? Then we're doomed. We have to fix it. First of all, to look at our Muslim homes, we have to begin from the beginning. You have to choose your spouse correctly. So the Prophet says, alayhi salatu wasalam, to the guardians of girls, whenever a man approaches you into marriage, and that you accept his religious commitment and his ethics, his moral conduct, his behavior, then you should give him in marriage. Otherwise, great corruption and trials would spread in the land. So when someone proposes to your daughter, you have to see if the criteria fits. Of course, there are other reasons for you to accept or reject, but these are the two most important. So if someone who's rich, honorable, one of the dignitaries proposes, but he doesn't pray, or he's not committed to the deen, or he's openly sinning, definitely he's not to be considered. And if someone who is religiously committed, has excellent moral conduct, but due to other factors, your daughter may not accept him. You may not accept him because he is jobless and he is unable to provide for your daughter or open a normal house to maintain life. This is a valid reason. But generally speaking, you have to be able to select the nucleus of this family and of this Muslim home. Likewise, a man, when he wants to get married, he should focus on 4 things. Well, if you can get the package deal, put me in. If you can get someone who's religious, who's beautiful, who's wealthy, who's from a good family, count me in. Usually you find these in Jannah, not here. So the Prophet ﷺ highlights the feature, the characteristic is the religion commitment. You should marry a woman for her religious commitment. But this doesn't mean that she has to be uneducated, she has to be poor. No, if you can balance, alhamdulillah. And once the couple get married, then in their home there has to be rules of engagement. They have to know how to deal with one another. And a Muslim home is based on respect. The moment respect is taken out, it's not a Muslim home anymore. The moment there is an exchange of slander, cursing, shouting in the house, this is not a Muslim home. And the children will grow up to be abusive, violent, or mentally affected. You want to speak to your wife? Go to a separate room, put the measures of decibels so that it does not go over like 15 or 20 decibels, nobody can hear, and try to communicate, try to talk. Shouting and cursing, a gorilla can make it better than you. So it doesn't mean you're a man. So it is based on respect, a lot of affection, understanding. The Prophet ﷺ gave us an example. He was talking to his beloved wife. Who is the most beloved wife of the Prophet ﷺ? Khadija. See this now, it's my mistake. It's my mistake. This is a big issue of dispute among scholars, whether Khadija is better than Aisha or the opposite. And the reason is that the Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, only 4 women were perfect, and they are the mistresses of Jannah. They are the head of the women in Jannah. They are, you don't know. Khadija, nope. Asiyah bint Imran, okay. Asma bint Muzahim. And Maryam. Okay. And Fatima. Very good. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. Good. But we have another hadith where the Prophet ﷺ gives the similitude of Aisha to the rest of women as being a tharid. The level of Aisha higher than the rest of the women is like a tharid, which is made of meat and bread and the likes. Now it's lunchtime. Now I'm getting hungry. And over the rest of the food. The scholar said, now does this mean that she is superior to all women, previous and coming, or the women of her time? But Fatima was a contemporary person living with her. So the most authentic, and this is what I believe, that Khadija is far superior. But this does not deny that he loved Aisha a lot. So when Aisha was alive, she was the most beloved wife to his heart. Nevertheless, in an authentic hadith, look at the high level of respect between the spouses. The Prophet said ﷺ to Aisha, "Oh Aisha, I know when you're angry and when you're not angry." This indicates that even when she's angry, it cannot be detected by the naked eye. You have to dig deep inside, which shows you the high level of respect. Even if she's angry, she doesn't show this to the Prophet ﷺ. So she was wondering, "Oh Prophet of Allah, how can you tell?" So the Prophet said, when you're angry, when you swear, you say, "No, by the Lord of Ibrahim." But when you're happy, you say, "No, by the Lord of Muhammad." And it's the same Lord, it's the same Allah. And she smiled and said, "Oh Prophet of Allah, this is true. I only abandon your name." What kind of respect is this? Nowadays, the houses of the Muslims are filled with shouting, screaming, threatening of divorce, sending the girl to her father's house for a month or two, not speaking. Wallahi, one of the daughters in my masjid, in my community, sent me a message, written message, saying that my father knows you very well, because I'm the imam of the masjid for the past 28 years. And I know almost everyone 30 years before that, because they're all Saudi Airlines captains. And two of my eldest brothers were captains. So I know them since a very young age. I know everyone. So she says, my father has a problem. Whenever he gets angry with my mother, he does not speak not a single word. And it's been almost a year plus, he does not even say salam. He comes to the home, he doesn't talk to my mom, eats, drinks, goes to bed and leaves. Zero communication. What kind of life is this? Is his house an Islamic house? Definitely not. Look at the level of respect between Aisha and our Prophet ﷺ, and look at our homes. Do we have the same respect? The Prophet told us ﷺ that the best of you are the best to their wives. The Prophet used to help in the household. He used to stitch his own thobe once it's torn. He used to fix his own sandals. He used to milk his own goat. He used to do his own things in home. Not like what we do nowadays. We come into the house, we sit on our lazy chair, bring me the 3-4 remote controls, OSN, Showtime, Nilesat, Hotbird, Star TV, and every 5 minutes, bring me some popcorn, bring me water, do some coffee, do this, my feet hurts, do some massage. Ish hada. This is, Simon says, this is Hail Caesar. He needs some feathers and people, just waving at him. This is not a house that is based on Islam. You have to help your wife. Why not enter the kitchen once a month and do the cooking? Why don't you help with the French fries? Why don't you help with cutting the onions? Every now and then show some respect and share with your wife. This is good. And Imam Ahmed, the great Imam, stated that when his first wife died, he married Salih. He said, I stayed with her for 20 years. We were married for 20 years. Not a single word we differed between us. So in a Muslim home, there is balance. If I'm angry, she backs off. If she's angry, I back off. So that life goes on. There is respect dominating. So let's look at the woman. How is she in her Islamic home? She is a role model for a good wife and a caring mother. She doesn't shout. She doesn't scream. She doesn't nag. She doesn't cause problems. Like Mother Khadija. The Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, to Khadija, Jibreel is giving you salam. And he's giving you the glad tidings of a house in Jannah made of a pearl that has no shouting and it has no tiresome. Why? The scholars say because the Prophet ﷺ, whenever he went home, there was no shouting, no nagging, no complaining. And she would not allow him to work at the home. This is her job. So he used to come and feel that he's in his safe haven, he's comfortable, he has everything that he ever wished for. His mind is free to do good things for the community. A Muslim home is filled with remembrance of Allah in each and every corner. So when you enter the home and you look around, you find the children reading beneficial books, seerah of the companions or of the Prophet ﷺ. You find the elders reading something in tafsir, in something in hadith, or reading something in science that benefits the Muslim ummah. You find the girl or the woman has a schedule that between Asr and Maghrib she goes with her halaqah to memorize the Quran. She has a WhatsApp group where she exchanges fatwas. Everything in the home is based on Islam. Some houses of Muslims are unlike this. I entered a lot of Muslim homes, and in one house of a brother who's praying with me in the masjid, I found this big Yamaha piano. I said, MashaAllah, tabarakallah. What is this? He said, it's piano. I said, don't you know that this is haram? He said, I don't play. Come on, you don't play and you buy this in tens of thousands of riyals. Why? This is a good decoration. I said, inshallah, when you die tomorrow, your children will play and you will get all the sins you can afford in your grave. This is haram. This is not something to be in a Muslim home. I entered to a friend's house who's in his 60s, mid-60s. And he was showing me his collection of books and so on. And then we came to a collection of what? Vinyl records. And the brother is this big beard. He's praying in the masjid. I said, Akhi, what is this? He said, oh, this is from Ayyam al-Jahiliyyah. Okay, now you're in Ayyam al-Islam. Why are you keeping it? He said, Sheikh, this is very expensive. And it has, I don't listen to music, but this is Led Zeppelin, this is Black Sabbath, this is this and that. And A'udhu billahi min ash-shaytan ar-rajim. Ya akhi, dispose of it. So Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, it still exists. When you enter these homes, you remember the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. The Prophet says, the similitude of a house that remembers Allah and a house that does not remember Allah is the same as the dead and the living. So a Muslim home, you can identify immediately when you enter by seeing the signs of Islam in it. Whenever the people of a Muslim home enter, the first thing they begin with salam. Allah says, but when you enter the houses, greet one another with the greeting from Allah, saying, Assalamu alaikum. So you should say this when you enter your homes, not curse, not sing, not say anything else. In this home, the family pray, and they pray voluntary prayers, women and children, fard prayers. The men pray in the masjid, but all of their voluntary prayers are done in the home. The Prophet ﷺ said, keep a portion of your prayers in your homes and do not make them like graveyards. So when you don't pray in your home, though you are praying in the masjid, everything, your home becomes as a graveyard. You have to revive the sunnah of praying voluntary prayers there, night prayers, witr, etc. And the best prayer of a man other than the fard is voluntary prayers done in the home. And the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ is that you pray with your wife at least 2 rak'ahs at night. And whoever wakes up his wife or his spouse or her spouse and they pray 2 rak'ahs, Allah would register them as الذاكرين الله كثيرا والذاكرات, among those who remember Allah a lot, males and females. Part of the characteristics of a Muslim home is illustrated in the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. When Allah wills good for the people of a household, He introduces kindness among them. And this is a decisive characteristic. You enter homes, you find the spouses always wrestling with one another. You find the siblings always wrestling. Well, spouses also wrestle, but in a different way. You find the siblings always fighting, complaining from one another, shouting, abusing, physically attacking one another. What is this? They have enmity in their hearts towards my brother or my sister. I don't want them to borrow my shoes. The sister, I don't want her to take my dress. But you're not using it. Yes, I don't want her. 3 weeks ago, I asked her to give me a necklace and she refused. I will not. Subhanallah. Allah doesn't love this household. Whenever Allah loves them, you will find them cooperating, loving one another. And I've seen this in so many homes. So much love, so much devotion, so much generosity generated and given to one another without account. Even if they're not that practicing, this is a sign that Allah loves them. And we have to do this, not only with our children, not only with our people living in the home, but even with the servants. In my country, I don't know about Kuwait, in my country, in Saudi Arabia, we have, it's not a phenomenon, but we have a problem with how people treat their servants. Maids, drivers, a housekeeper, or whatever. The Prophet said, alayhi salatu wassalam, your slaves are your brothers whom Allah has put under your command. So whoever has a brother under his command, a slave, I buy and sell, he's like property. Whoever has a brother under his command should feed him of what he eats, dresses him of what he wears. Do not ask them to do things beyond their capacity, and if you do so, then help them. This is about who? Slaves. The one we have in our homes are free people. They're like us, but they get paid by us. You cannot curse them, you cannot hit them, you cannot physically abuse them or even mentally abuse them, because the Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, in an authentic hadith, do you know who a broke person is? A poor person? The companion said, a man who does not have dirham or dinar. The one who doesn't have dinar, you know, dirham may be fils. Yalla, this is instant translation. So the Prophet said, no, the poor person or a broke person who comes on the Day of Judgment with salat, prayer, fasting, and sadaqah, charity. He has a lot of good deeds, but he cursed this one, he backbitten this one, he hit this one, he shed the blood of this one, he consumed the money of this one. He transgressed big time. So on the Day of Judgment, Allah would take from his good deeds and give those who he's in debt to. If his good deeds are over, but still he has dues to pay, Allah would take from their sins, put on him, and placed in hellfire. But he was praying with us in the first row in the masjid. He used to contribute in the community. He was a good da'i, he was a good man. Yes, but he transgressed a lot against others. So one has to be careful when he deals with his domestic helpers and the likes. If you enter a Muslim home, you would not find the people using curse words. What are the curse words commonly used? Kids, they can't say it. MashaAllah, they are Muslim kids. Good. In my country, we have a very long list. The softest, the easiest is dog, donkey, monkey, pig. Animals, huh? So, Muslims don't use these words with strangers, let alone with their own children. But I have seen people, and I am sad to say that some of them are even professors in universities teaching Islamic studies, use such words with their children, and even worse. And when I speak to them, I said, I'm disciplining them. You don't discipline your children with abusive words. The Prophet says, alayhi salatu wasalam, the believer, if you're a believer, does not slander, does not curse, does not speak in an obscene or foul manner. A believer. If you're not a believer, the sky is the limit. I had a friend who was a teacher, and he's teaching Islamic studies, meaning that he's a graduate of Al-Qura with a BA in Islamic studies. I was sitting with him once, and I was talking to him about family abuse, domestic violence, and how we should try to avoid this. And he was saying in a laughing manner, Sheikh, you have to visit my house. I said, why? He said, I'm always in constant fighting with my wife. I said, A'udhu Billah, you're a practicing brother. Your beard is long, mashallah. What do you mean? He said, yesterday, as an example, he's laughing. I was arguing with my wife. She took the ashtray and she threw it at me. And I dodged it. Alhamdulillah, it didn't hit me. So I took the coffee pot and I threw it at her and smashed her head. I was shocked. He said, I started putting my helmet. I don't know, maybe the guy is going to turn against me. What is this? He said, no, that way we kissed and made up. Khalas, alhamdulillah. But this is happening every couple of days. What kind of a marriage is this? What kind of Islam is this? Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. We have a problem. The household of a Muslim home, they're kind to everyone, especially to their neighbors. So when you have a neighbor who's kind to you, sending you food, inviting you to their events, trying to help you, and this is found among our community, alhamdulillah, still. When a woman gives birth, you find the community, each take turn in preparing lunch and dinner, until for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, until she is fit enough to cook. This is found even in non-Muslims, but in Muslims specifically, this stands out. You can tell. So a Muslim household would not do harm to their neighbors. The Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, he or no one whose harm his neighbor is not safe will enter paradise. If your neighbor is not safe from your harm, you will not enter paradise. Very easy, but it's very difficult. I'm praying in the first row. Yes, but it's not pick and choose. Islam is not, okay, salah is good, I like that. Fasting, yeah, it's good diet, nice. Charity, excuse me, this hurts, I'm gonna pass. It is not like this. Islam is something that you must implement as you are instructed. I always give this example, and I gave it, I think, yesterday's lecture or the day before. Well, I lost count, but you always hear it from me in my lectures. Your life is a big portrait, a big picture. Islam is the frame. A true Muslim puts the frame on the picture, which is his life, and cuts the loose ends. So the frame fits as a glove on your life. Nothing is out. So you don't pick and choose. What people are doing nowadays, they put the frame, they see that their life has to be shrunk, and they have to compromise with the desires and with what they want. This is difficult. So what is the alternative? Start breaking the edges of the frame. Put duct tape, bring a branch, an extension of wood, put some nails here and there, and at the end of the day, alhamdulillah, the frame fits the picture. But it's not a frame anymore. It says like Picasso drew something, I don't know what this is. Then you have a problem, because what you're practicing is not Islam. It's a different religion. I would not even say it's an upgrade, it's a downgrade. Because this is not what the religion that our Prophet brought, alayhi salatu wasalam. The household of an Islamic home constantly do dua in everything, and most importantly in the welfare of their spouses and children. Allah Azza wa Jal says, and those who say, our Lord, bestow on us from our spouses and our offspring who will be the comfort of our eyes and make us leaders of the muttaqeen. In a Muslim household, it is the job of the man to financially provide. I've seen Muslim homes, quote unquote, where the man forces his wife to work and he takes most of her salary, and he sends chunks of his own salary to his family, and the poor woman works like a servant in the home and like a servant out of the home and gives him all the money, and this is haram. The Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, any flesh that grows out of haram, hellfire is more worthy of it. The women folk in this household, you can identify them wherever you see them. They're bashful, they're shy, they're modest. You can see their chastity in the way they dress, in the way they talk, not only in the way they dress. Sometimes I'm appalled by the women coming to me. In one Muslim country, I had a workshop. So after I came from the workshop, two beautiful women came to me with hijab, the so-called hijab, wearing their, uncovering their faces. The most beautiful thing in a woman is her face. Why cover the rest? Sometimes you get this sister with this afro hair, and they cover it with hijab and they become, mashallah, more representable. So hiding the hair sometimes acts as an advantage, but the face is the beauty. And these two sisters, after a long lecture and a workshop, come to me, and they're hijabi, supposedly, mashallah. And they said, Sheikh, Assalamu alaikum. I said, alaikum salam. Of course, lowering my gaze. Sheikh, how did you know they were beautiful? Yeah, it's not of your business. Don't get into technical things. You have the first gaze, and that's the first look. The funny thing is that these hijabi women come to me and say, can we take a selfie with you? What? Where are you coming from? What was I doing in the lecture, in the workshop? She said, Sheikh, a lot of them, shuyukh, other da'is have no problem with that. I said, yeah, but I have a problem with that. Why would I care about other shuyukh? I know my religion. She said, okay, not with one of us, with two of us, so that there's no khulwa, there's no seclusion. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. There is something wrong in the way that people think, the way that they play with Islam to fit their own desires and their own whims. This is the biggest problem in Islam. Not the enemies, not the kafir. The kafir, we can deal with them. We know how to deal with them. They are face to face saying bad things about our religion. Our problem is with those who claim to be Muslims. And they are digging underneath Islam to undermine it. This is a big problem. The women folk in this Muslim home, they don't mix with other men. And that is why when you get joint family, then this is not a Muslim home. Sheikh, they're all practicing. Yes, but inside the home. You mean to tell me that your sister-in-law who lives with you in the same home, you haven't seen her without her hijab? She said, no, she has to take off the hijab, Sheikh, because we have only 3 rooms and 1 kitchen. So she has to, she cannot be 24/7 wearing hijab. Then this is not a Muslim home. Simple as that. You're communicating with your sister-in-law. You're sitting, you're chit-chatting, you're smiling, cracking jokes. What kind of a Muslim home is this? And I have stories without end on problems that have been caused by this. A proper Muslim woman is not just covered externally, but even internally. She does not chit-chat with non-mahrams, thinking that this is okay, I'm wearing the hijab. She's not loud in supermarkets. I sit in the lobby here of my hotel, and behind me I hear 6 women sitting, drinking coffee, laughing their heads off. What is this? No bashfulness? No shyness? Men are watching, men are looking. Ya akhi, go into a chamber, into a room, and laugh your heads off. Women and women, no problem. But there are men. Haya, bashfulness has been taken out of the heart, of the faces. So you get other men, not women. They look as women, but they behave as men. And this is a problem. The Prophet ﷺ warned us from this. Those who live in a joint family. Those who say that cousins are okay to mix if they are from the opposite gender, because we're first cousins, we cannot marry, we've grown up together. The Prophet said, إِيَّاكُمْ وَالدُّخُولَ عَلَى النِّسَى. Do not enter upon women who are non-mahram to you. So one of the companions said, "O Prophet of Allah, what about al-hamu? What about my brother-in-law? Excuse me, what about my brother, who is the brother-in-law of my wife? What about my uncle, who is non-mahram to my wife?" The Prophet said, "Al-hamu al-maut." If you allow this non-mahram to enter and mix with your wife, with a non-mahram woman, this is like allowing death to come to them. Married man says, okay, let death come. No, this is not the right way to think about it. You have to have jealousy. You have to be a man in order not to allow this to happen. In a Muslim household, they take good care of their children. Nowadays, when my child comes, "Daddy, I'd like to talk to you," I said, "Take 10 riyals, go and buy some candy. Do something. This is a new PlayStation 4 or 5 or 6. Just leave me alone." And this is wrong. You are responsible for your children, upbringing them in every single way. The Prophet ﷺ was once eating, and a child was eating with him. He said, "Ya ghulam, oh young boy, Sammillah, say Bismillah. Eat with your right hand and eat from what is in front of you." The Prophet is teaching a child, but this is how this child becomes to grow up as a Muslim leader, as a scholar, as someone who leads a community. If you enter a Muslim home you will not find something that displeases Allah. So with a short glance, you can, or a quick glance, can't be short. With a quick glance, you can find out that this is a Muslim home or not. Once I was counseling between a brother and his wife. She's seeking divorce. Why? Because the brother was an airline pilot. He told his wife, I am going to a trip to London and coming in 3 days. He's a pilot. And she discovered that he went to Casablanca, Morocco. And Saudis have problems with Morocco. So she is filing for divorce. So he asked me to come and intervene and to speak and try to reconcile. I said, okay. I went there into the room, and in the, you know, we have guest room. I don't know what you call it here. Diwaniya probably, something yani, for the guests. So I was sitting and I was looking to my left, and I found like 5 or 6 pictures as a decoration. I was shocked. It was of his family, most likely wife and daughters. So I was telling him, Akhi, what is this? He says, this is my family. So they're not wearing hijab. Why are you displaying them to the public? Are they for sale? He says, no, Sheikh, what are you saying? What you're doing is wrong. What idea do you want me to understand? And I was talking to him, and all of a sudden I find this lady standing next to me with juice glasses. An Asian lady, which is a maid, wearing a skirt and a uniform, and I was shocked. You know I'm a sheikh. What do you think, I'm a fraud? And you bring this lady to come and give me the juice? I said, Sheikh, it's normal. He said, Wallahi, akhi, your wife has all the right to seek divorce. You're not normal here. You have a problem. So in short, I can go on and on and on, but I think it is more than sufficient what we have heard. If we can implement, then alhamdulillah. Go today to your homes, try to revise these points and see if they are applicable or not. Go to your guest room. Do you have, like the majority of people have, statues of dolphins, not horses, those who go to India usually come with elephants. Those who go to Egypt usually comes with the Sphinx. And these are statues that prevent angels from entering your home. The Prophet said, the angels do not enter a house where there is a statue or a picture, portrait, or a dog. Muslim homes nowadays, this is a new trend. They're having dogs in their homes. Ya akhi, don't you know that whoever keeps a pet dog, Allah reduces his good deeds by 1 carat, which is equivalent to Mount Uhud. We don't even have this amount every day. The Prophet says, and when you ask him, he said, no, this is for guarding. I keep the dog to guard my house. Akhi, it's a chihuahua. Even a cat can eat it. What kind of a dog that guards? Get a German Shepherd, get a Doberman, get something that is real dog, not this insect. And they're funny, having fun with them, you know, cuddling them. Is this a Muslim home? Some of the brothers even go to Thailand and bring Buddha statues. Said, mashallah, look, I love the belly. Akhi, this is shirk. What are you doing? So we have a problem up here. We have to go back to the basics, to the Quran and to the Sunnah, and check, scrutinize. If our homes are Islamic, then alhamdulillah, we're on the right track. If not, then Houston, we have a problem. We have to do something seriously about it and fix it before it is too late, and Allah Azza wa Jal knows best. Wa sallallahu wa sallam wa barak ala abdihi wa rasulihi nabiyina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in.